think I'm in the start of early labour. Although the contractions have slowed down quite a lot because I've been rushing around getting ready just in case. Packing all the last minute bits for the bag, so if it gets really bad, I don't have to worry about any of that. So it's now, I think it's like 5:30 in the morning. Been woken up all night long. We went to bed pretty early actually, at like 9:30, 10, which is good because I managed to get quite a bit of sleep in, but I've been waking up at like 1, 2, 2:30, 3 with cramps and like breathing through them a bit, thinking that's not right. That's not normal for me. And then I needed a wee, so I kept getting up and then they got worse and worse, so I went downstairs. Too much information, but I had to go to the toilet twice in a short space of time, like a big clear out. And I've been rolling on my exercise ball, and they were coming like every 6 to 8 minutes. Now they're like every 12, because I've just been sorting out the bags and moving around into different rooms. But Tom's up now, so we're gonna watch some Squid Games on Netflix and try and chill out. Oh, I think one's coming.
Hello.
Hello.
How you feeling?
Feel alright in between, but then the hell comes. It's like the feeling of hell, and then it goes away.
You're doing very well. Doing great.
Do you like my socks?
Of course.
My feet are freezing.
Hello, Reggie.
Once in my life.
How you doing, Bubbles? You good?
Boy.
Good
He's like,
boy.
He's like, Mummy, what's going on?
You're having a baby, Reg.
Oh, you're worried
That's what's
about
going
Mummy, I know. Just waiting for me to stop
Yeah, I
talking.
know. You hurried it up, didn't you?
Yeah, I was rushing it around.
So what's the update, Sam?
I don't know, I can't click on that now. They're happening like every, what is it, 2.5, 3 minutes?
Yeah, about 2.5. For about
45 minutes to
50,
a minute.
yeah, 50 seconds.
Oh, we called the hospital. Oh no.
Another one.
Oh, it's a bad one.
Yeah, well done. Get edgy up in there. Lights on. Tell you what, that's not nice.
Get copyright for that. Yeah, we spoke to the hospital and she was like asking me questions, and I said, sorry, I think I've got one coming now. And then I was like, I felt really awkward because it just went silent.
Yeah.
So I was like forcing the end to talk through it, and she was like, that was pretty quick, that one. I was like, oh, for God's sake. I didn't want it to be awkward silence. So she said, maybe wait till they're close together, like 2 minutes apart or whatever, for lasting 1 minute. That didn't make sense.
She said have it consistently for 2 hours.
For 2 hours?
Which is wild.
Is this a joke?
So what we're going to do now is lie to them. A little bit.
I need some gas and air at least.
Yeah. Look at that bump though. You're going to miss this. Look at this beautiful bump.
But I was just laying down on my side in bed. I was thinking, I'm quite tired now. I've been up since 4. Maybe I'll just try and rest. No, it's so much worse laying down.
Yeah, no
Oh my
good.
God, it's all in my back when I lay down.
Yeah, you're doing the right thing. Keep going, darling.
Come on. Yeah, it's in the right direction, but I'm not sure I can do this at home for 2 hours. His head will pop out.
Yeah, I'll have to deliver.
You'll have to, get the neighbours roped in.
Yeah.
Reggie, you might witness a birth at home if I wait 2 hours.
You don't know what's going on. He's a bit stressed.
He is a bit stressed, bless him.
You're okay, Rose. She's okay. Mummy's alright.
I'm alright,
She's
darling.
okay.
Yeah,
Right.
peace out. I've got another one coming.
Yeah, sweet.
Shit.
You okay?
Yeah.
Yeah?
One's coming. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, it's horrible when you stood upright.
Yeah. I'll grab your bag.
Oh.
Little update from me. So she's upstairs, getting ready. Bags ready to go in the car. Everything's good to go. Everything's going normal. So yeah, let's crack on.
We are off to the hospital. They told us to make our way in.
Yeah, it's time. It's go time, Sam.
Yeah, oh no, my comb's just dropped on the floor.
Oh no, I can go back again.
Oh god. Yeah, one's coming as well, so I'm gonna turn it off. Oh. Every time I go to film, one seems to come. Tom just had a phone call because he's selling his other car, bougie, other car, his old car, and this guy was like, hello, I'm just calling about the car, is now a good time? And I literally just started having a contraction, and he's like, not really mate, no, and he's like, oh no, why? Because my missus is actually going into labour and I'm now on the way to hospital. He's like, oh no, couldn't have picked a worse time. But anyway, good that you got interest in your car.
That was so funny, that was great.
That was brilliant timing, but not for me because I was really trying to hold in my ooh.
So we sell the car as well today, that'll be great.
Today?
Yeah, I'll pop back, show him.
Yeah. But we're going to go into triage and I guess they're going to put a couple of fingers up there and check how dilated I am, and if they say 1 centimetre, drop me out. Drop me out of it. Let's hope it's 3 or 4 or something. No, I'll be happy even if she says 2, at least it's progress from the Swede. But it would have taken, well, I've been in this since 4 o'clock, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6 hours. Yeah, we'll see. Keep you updated when we get there. Hopefully they've got a little birthing unit. Birthing unit ready for us. Right, I'm having another one. It's coming. Bye.
Where is she? How you going, darling?
Thanks for dropping me off.
I knew that was coming.
Walk a mile.
No, you're doing well, aren't
Walk a
you?
mile in these little bananas.
It's good for you.
Oh, it's not good. And when I'm having a contraction now, it literally feels like I'm going to weep myself at any minute. But I've had hardly any water since we left, so I didn't have to stop for a week. Can't wait to see how many centimetres dilate there. Up here,
It's up here, yeah. Hey, you're doing brilliant.
got my colosh. Got my little colostrum in there.
Yeah.
Look at me. Blimey, cover it up.
Your banger's out, yeah?
Yeah, got the bangers out for lads.
Yeah.
They'll be out soon anyway. For
They
the
will be.
lad. Bye.
Bye. One last word or not?
I like this weather.
Yeah, me too.
It's nice and cooling.
Yeah, beautiful.
Glad I'm not doing this in the summer. I couldn't cope. I need this fresh air under my tits.
Say bye.
Bye, love you, bye. Tea-boys arrived. What are you making me, darling?
Making you tea and toast.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Lucy Spraggan style.
Who?
Singer from the X Factor. You have to play it now.
It's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah. So, a little bit of an update. Sorry for the bad quality, but it's on my phone. And it's all very dark in here because we're trying to keep it all nice and calm. We are at home again. It's like 8:30 in the evening. We got to hospital about 10:30. I was having regular contractions when I was at home, every 2 to 3 minutes, lasting around a minute. So we obviously got told by the hospital it's time to go in, so we did. And then we were taken straight to the birthing suite with the pool in and everything. Then they did all my observations, made us tea and toast, it was lovely. And then the midwives were so nice. And then they did a cervical examination, which was so painful because as she did it, I had a contraction. It was awful. I thought a sweep was bad. I had a contraction when she did it. Oh my God, traumatising. Anyway, so that then obviously like ruined my whole oxytocin. She said I was only 2 centimetres dilated, so my whole mood was like, oh my God. I'd been contracting 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 6.5 hours to only go up 1 centimetre. So it's a bit demoralising. And then they were like, we're going to have to move you onto the labour ward because you live half an hour away, so we know it's risky to send you home and it's long for you. So we moved to the labour ward for a bit, but I just couldn't relax. It was like ruining the contractions even more. They were so spaced apart, like 8 minutes apart again. It was light in there. I could hear everybody else. It was putting me off, so and nobody came around to see us to give me any pain relief or anything. That's the only reason I really wanted to go there, to get some paracetamol or something. So we went to the reception and said we're going home. I think that was the best thing we could have done. I've just tried to relax. I mean, it's so hard. I can't sleep because I start dozing off for like 30 seconds. And then all of a sudden a big wave comes with a contraction. So it's just impossible. They're coming like every 3.5 minutes at the moment, lasting a minute. So they've ramped up again, but I just don't want to go to the hospital because I can't be bothered to get there and then the same thing happens. So I'm riding the wave out for as long as possible at home because it's our happy, safe place. Oh no, I'm about to have one. 2 seconds, I'll be back. Oh, I would continue filming through those as well, but I'm tracking everything on the Freya app, so I have to click the button every time I have it so that it times it. I'm using a TENS machine now, Lifesaver. It's really helped because it distracts your mind, although I keep keeping it on boost the whole time because it's much nicer. I started on 5, I'm now on 10, so they're obviously getting a bit more intense. We put it on Tom's bum earlier as well, and that did make me laugh, which was good for oxytocin. But I'm super emotional. I mean, I think it's just, I've been up since 4 a.m. having these and it's now 8:30. And I don't know how much progress I've made, so I just keep crying. And Tom's hugging me and I'm just crying. But apparently that can be quite normal. So Tom wants to call the hospital again soon and see what happens, but I don't know, I just feel like I need to do loads of it at home. And then when we get there, we can actually make some progress because I can't be bothered to get moved onto the labour ward and then get no sleep all night. And also Tom can't stay with me, he has to come home. And then that panics me that if something happens in the night after I've had pain relief and I'm relaxed and my body's like doing its thing, that he'll miss the birth. So yeah, it's all fun and games. But at the moment I'm kind of thinking, why do people do this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times? Maybe when the baby comes out you forget about everything, but I will struggle to forget this pain. And I think I'm probably only 3 or 4 centimetres dilated at this point, if I'm even that. Imagine if I go in and they're like, you're 2 centimetres. I'll be like, epidural now, which I'm tempted to do anyway. I'm tempted to say, let's sack off the water birth and go straight for the epidural. How are you feeling, Tom?
Yeah, good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Just a little update after about 12 hours.
Yeah.
A lot has happened.
It has, hasn't it? I've just been emotional at home and I've just sorted myself out again just in case we go off.
Yeah.
Because I got in the lift to come home, didn't I? And the lady went, it was just us two and a lady, and she went, you sang at my wedding in 2022. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God. She was like, you look amazing for being in labour. I was like, thank God I did put a bit of makeup on. Oh, yeah, gotta go.
But honestly, we're still going strong. Sammy's doing amazing. Very proud of her, smashing it. And it's all good. We're going to get there in the end.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, I'm proud of her.
Even if it's tomorrow, but I do need to sleep at some point.
Yeah.
We've tried paracetamol, haven't we? But, I mean, not done a lot.
No.
Right, we'll update you on the next, whatever happens. Farewell. To anyone that joked and said to me I'd packed too much stuff for the hospital, they've run me a lovely bath. I've had some Oromorph. Dreamy. Still getting them a bit, but about to have a bath and use all of my stuff because I could be in for 3 days now. So you can never pack enough, and I'm so glad I did.
Okay, so Sammy's hooked up to a monitor right now, and these are the important numbers we're looking at. So the 135, that's baby's heart rate, and it's linked to this band in Sammy's stomach. So you've got the blue one is the baby's heart rate because his back is there, so they're linking that and you can hear it. And the pink one is Sammy's contractions, so the green number is the strength of Sammy's contractions, and it's out of 100.
Baby's
So
heart
right.
rate's orange.
What did I say?
Blue.
Oh god, yeah, baby's heart rate's orange, and the blue 99, that's Sammy's heart rate. So how you feeling, Sam? We reckon you're probably about 4 centimetres dilated probably right now?
Yeah, just waiting to see if my waters have gone naturally or if they're going to be popped.
Yeah.
We've got a long old wait. Full moon brought out all the pregnant ladies,
It did.
didn't
It did. So you've been in labour how long?
it? And I want Oromorph and I'm feeling pretty sick right now, but...
Yeah. How long have you been in latent phase labour, early stage?
36 hours or so.
A long time. And you're a trooper. You barely slept. She's a machine. She's got a TENS machine on there. It's a TENS machine attached to her back. And yeah, it looks like she might be having a contraction. So yeah, all is good. She is a machine. She's doing really well. And yeah.
Never again.
Never again until next time.
Never.
She's doing amazing.
Oh, I know you're not happy. I know. There you go.
This big old chunky boy.
How much does he weigh?
£9.
Wow.
Do you think he looks big?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. So, the video ended because it all turned pretty traumatic. So obviously we didn't film it. It wasn't even in our minds to film it because it all went a bit messed up. But I am here to explain what happened. I'm not going to ramble on too much. There's nothing worse than someone going on too much in too much detail. So I've written it down in my notes because it's crazy. Your brain tricks you afterwards to try and wipe all of the traumatic events out, which in a way is good, but also I'm glad I've written it down because I can always come back to it if I ever need to process anything. I don't feel too bad about it now, but for the first couple of weeks it was pretty bad. My hormones were all over the place, and I think it was made even worse by the way the outcome of what happened. I think when you visualize something, I know people say like don't get your mind set on a certain birth because it hardly ever works out like that. Very true. And I was open-minded. I always said if it's going to end in a C-section, it's going to end in a C-section, but I never imagined it would go on for the amount of days that it did and basically have every single pain relief
going. When I was on the labour ward, I think it's called, where you're with all of the other ladies that are in the same boat as you, so they're not dilated enough to actually go into the labour suite yet, or they're being induced, they would be in there. So I heard people like having pessaries put in. I heard ladies that were contracting all the time but they weren't progressing very far, just like me. I heard ladies like screaming out saying, I can't do this anymore, I need more pain relief, because in the labour ward we were only given Oromorph. I don't know whether you could have pethidine in there, but I really didn't want it at that stage because I heard it could make you really sick. So yeah, so I'm going to read some of my notes out and then I can talk about it in depth a little bit more. So I was examined again, a little sweep, to see how dilated I was, and this was after 2 days of contractions, staying overnight, hardly getting any sleep because obviously contracting every 2 to 3, 4 minutes, whatever, was hell. Like, you'd just drift off, like I've said in my other videos. You'd just start drifting off and then you'd get this wave of pain, and that's how I can describe it. I don't know if you've seen those TikTok videos where it's like, this is the sound of a contraction. It's like da-da, da-da, da-da. It's like a slight period pain, and then it increases to a da-da, 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 and it's like intense, and then you can feel it tailing off again to the da-da, da-da, and it just does that. But obviously when you're having loads in a few minutes, it's exhausting. I now have a whole new respect for any woman that has gone through that. Oh my God. And any woman that does it without pain relief, how? Could never be me. So after being examined, they said I was 3 centimetres dilated after nearly 2.5 days of contractions. They mentioned I may be able to have my waters broken, and I overheard the lady next to me, who was in before me, that she might be taken down to the labour suite, but it won't be until 11 p.m. that night, and I can't remember, it might have been like 10 a.m. that morning that I heard them saying that to her, and I just had a mental breakdown. I was like, oh my God, if she's not getting taken down till 11 p.m. tonight, that means I'm not going to be until tomorrow. I can't have another night of no sleep with all these contractions. I'm going to lose my mind. Said I couldn't do it anymore, and I literally was in bits. I was sobbing. I was like, I need my waters broken. I could feel the pressure down there, and I was like, I don't think they're going to go on their own. I need some help to just push this along. I think everything's worse when you've had no sleep as well. And because I'd been sent home and then I contracted all day, and then I went back to the hospital, went into triage. I don't think I filmed any of that. Met the best midwife ever. I think her name was Akila. She was the best. Oh my God, we were laughing so much. She was getting me through it. I said no to a examination with her because I didn't want any more, because last time I had one, it really knocked my oxytocin because it was so painful. And I've literally got blurry bits where I don't know what happened after. If Tom was here, he would remember. But I think they just admitted me onto the labour ward at that point. They ran me a bath. What the hell? It was amazing. You'll see a video of that, obviously. And then I could relax a little bit more, but it still didn't mean I slept. The lovely Dion, she's another midwife. She's the head midwife at West Suffolk, who did my vaginal examinations to see how dilated I was over the 2 days. Came up to me at the end of her shift thinking she wouldn't see me again. Said to me, I'll see you in July because you're actually singing at my daughter's wedding. So as you can imagine, she'd had her up me multiple times to check. I was crying my eyes out for a lot of the time because I was so done. I thought, get this bloody baby out of me. And then she was like, see you in July. I was like, oh my God. That made me laugh. Then I saw her most of the days I was there for the rest of my stay, and we got on so well. She now follows me on Instagram. I follow her. We chat quite regularly, which is really nice. Hopefully I won't be crying at the wedding in July. If I am, something's seriously gone wrong. So before she left, she actually got me admitted to the labour suite, which was really, really nice of her because she knew I couldn't cope anymore. I was like, I'm going to go home. I'm going to have to go home. I cannot stay here for another night. So they took me down to the labour suite in a birthing unit with a water birth in it. Water birth with a water bath? I don't even know. But when I was in there, I had a nurse come in that was very straight faced, and she was like, basically, we don't want to break your waters now. We're going to see how you get on over the next couple of hours. We want them to break naturally because we don't want you to have another intervention, because the more hands you have up you, obviously, the more likely you are to have something go wrong with infections and stuff like that. It's just, they don't want to do that too much. So they said we want them to go on their own, and if they don't go on their own within a couple of hours, you're going to have to go back to the labour ward. As you can imagine, I was like, I can't go back to that labour ward. You literally don't sleep in the labour ward. There was, what, 6, 7 of us in there, 6, 7, all just crying. Crying, emotional, people that were being induced were crying. It was terrible. Not to put anyone off, but this is a very honest birth story. Some people's go so smoothly. Mine was not this. After a couple of hours, nothing had happened. Surprise, surprise. So, hello, baby. Hello, gorgeous boy. So they offered me pethidine as pain relief in the meantime, waiting for my waters to break. And that actually helped me sleep. So I think I slept for like an hour and a half or something like that. So I had that injected into my leg, as you do. And when I went for a wee in the toilet, I noticed a huge red, raised, rash, itchy. It was bad. So I came out and I said to the midwife, is this normal reaction? And she was like, absolutely not. So they got the doctor and some other nurses to come in and have a look, and they were baffled because they said they haven't seen a reaction like that before. So then they said, turns out you're allergic to pethidine. So I was like, amazing, just what I wanted at this stage. So the only option I would have going forward in the water birth would be gas and air. I wasn't allowed any more doses of the pethidine, obviously, due to the reaction. I did love the pethidine though. If you're not allergic to it, it didn't make me sicky at all because they give you an anti-sickness to go along with it. It was the best thing ever. Obviously I couldn't have any more. But I couldn't feel anything. It only lasts for 2 hours, so then you have to keep having more of it. So it wore off. I then had my waters broken for me because nothing was obviously happening, and they wanted it to progress a bit more, and they knew that I was too much of a mental breakdown hazard to put me back on the labour on the labour ward. You need some more food? Do you need some more foodies? I think we will. I had my waters broken, and because I'd had the pethidine, I was still a little bit numb, so I couldn't feel anything when they went up in there. But then I just felt the water gush out. Oh my God, the relief was the best thing in the world. Oh, I just think I had so much fluid. I mean, he was a huge baby, I'll go into that. How did that fit inside my belly? I had so much water retention, and just the water, gush, gush, gush. Oh yeah, it was amazing. Loved it, loved it, loved it. I had 2 gushes. So one when she broke my waters, and then one when she did another cervical examination 4 hours later. That was the one that went whoosh, and she went whoa and took a step back, and it went all over. I was like, sorry about that. I asked for a mobile epidural because I just knew I would not be able to, at this point, with nearly 3 days in, no sleep, well, like 6 hours sleep, I did not have the energy to push on just gas and air. It would have been hell. So I said, give me that mobile epidural in my back, please. And they said, absolutely, that's fine. So they moved me to a different room so that somebody else could use the birthing pool. And then they went and got the anaesthetist. So I can't remember how long it was because you just don't remember, but the anaesthetist came in and said, oh no, somebody came in and said he can't do it at the moment. He's got to rush down to an emergency C-section. So I was like, no worries. He then came back, can't remember how long later, and I was just on gas and air at that point because the pethidine had worn off. And he came in and attempted to do the mobile epidural, which means you have a lower dose in your back and you have a little clicker. So I think they told me to click it once extra every hour, so you can hear it going and you know that the dose is coming in. I can't remember how often it does, but you can feel it's like a coldness going into your back. It was the weirdest thing. And what was it in my hand? I honestly cannot remember. I think it's in your back, isn't it? But I wasn't pushing the clicker every hour because they failed to tell me that till hours later. So I was like, you could have told me that. I didn't want to overdose on it and then wouldn't be able to walk. So you can still walk with this one-ish. Depends, because obviously if you get too much of a dose, it's really hard for them to get it right. So if you have a bit too much, your legs are jellified, which mine did go like that a little bit. So the anaesthetist came in, he attempted to put it in my lower back 3 times and failed 3 times. So at this point I was giving up the will to live. The second attempt, he got it in the wrong place, it hit my nerves. I felt this sudden shooting pain all the way down into my legs. I screamed so loud. I don't think I've ever screamed like that before. I screamed and I said, I don't want this. If it's going to hurt like this, don't give it to me. Oh my God, it was hell. Didn't know that that could be so painful. And then I think on the 4th attempt, he got it in correctly. And then it was dreamy. I couldn't really feel much at all. It took away all the contractions. You can kind of feel them very mildly, but nothing in comparison to how they were. I think I was having 3 in 10 minutes or something. So I was sobbing at this point. I was literally like, I don't want this. It was awful. I've never cried so much as being in labour for 3 days. Actually, being in hospital the whole time. So I was asking him, I was saying to him, what's going on? Because when you feel that nerve pain, obviously there's a risk of paralysis, right? So I felt all the nerve pain going down my leg and I was like, I'm paralysed. I thought he'd paralysed me. So I was like, what's going on? Didn't answer me, silence in the room. I was like, oh my God, I'm paralysed. But I think he was just concentrating, but that didn't make me feel any better because he wasn't answering me. Like, I need somebody to be reassuring me, saying it's fine, that happens sometimes, you've just got to get it in the right place. That was very scary. Anyway, I was able to walk a little bit, but I had to be held up a tiny bit. And when I went to go for a wee, they just shut the door and I was in there on my own. And I was on, you have like a drip that you carry around with you for the epidural. So that was fun. I went to stand up to leave the toilet and my leg just buckled and I fell on the floor and there was a big bang because I fell into the metal bin and they were like, you're right. I was like, help. So I got a huge bruise on my leg for a couple of weeks. I was just sat on the floor like, help me. And then I had another examination which happened 4 hours later and I had hoped that we'd made a lot of progress because it had been 4 hours. I mean, 4 hours when you're in those rooms with just like your music playlist playing, and by this point me and Tom were both exhausted. He hadn't slept because he stayed in hospital with me, and like the rooms are terrible for men, aren't they? I know it's about the women, but for the men that have to stay in as well, that need to be there and be emotionally supportive for you, he had to sleep on like a beanbag sometimes on the floor if he was lucky. If not, there was nothing, or there's the broken chairs. I thought I'd made a lot of progress as I was a lot calmer and obviously able to rest with the mobile epidural. I had an amazing student midwife in my room called Phoebe, and I remember that name because it's my niece's name. And she was so lovely and she chatted to me so much. She was so positive. She was a beautiful girl. And because I couldn't feel anything at this point down there, they asked if they could do double examination. So if you've got a student midwife, often they will do one first and then the other midwife will go in and do another examination and then they'll discuss it and they'll see if the student midwife got it right. So I said yes because I thought, go for it. I couldn't feel anything at this point. It was amazing. Put your whole arm up there, I wouldn't have felt it. And they both said they thought I'd reach 5 centimetres, which I thought amazing, but the midwives were disappointed. And they said it was very slow progress within 4 hours, and if I didn't make any quicker progress by now, it would end in a C-section. So they said they would suggest the oxytocin hormone drip, which I've heard can make your contractions feel like hell. But because I had the mobile epidural, I thought, I won't feel anything. I really didn't want it, but I agreed to it to help speed up the process because I didn't want a C-section. Obviously I had this whole plan of water birth which went out the window, and then I thought natural birth. Now I've got a mobile epidural, it will be fine, I'll just relax and the contractions will happen for me and then it'll just fall out. So once the oxytocin drip went in, I could feel the contractions again. I was having 6 contractions within 10 minutes because obviously it's like fake hormones pumped into your body, right? Which isn't great. So it makes your body contract to try and speed up that process. But in the meantime, it can also raise the baby's heart rate and make them a little bit stressed because your body's going through intense contractions. So Tom could see on the screen as well, by this point he could read it all, that I literally wasn't getting a break. So every time my contraction finished, another one would start, and he was like, poor you, because I could feel them again. I didn't catch a break for nearly 4 hours because they were all in my back. I could feel them all in my back and a little bit in the front of my tummy. They only examine you every 4 hours so that you don't have too many cervical examinations, but by this point I'd had so many anyway over the 3 days. I was in so much pain. The anaesthetist came back in to talk about ramping it up to a full epidural, but then explained if I can feel it all in my back, it won't get rid of those pains. So it would be pretty pointless. I was exhausted again by this point, knowing there was nothing that could be done for the pain, and being so tired and exhausted, my pain threshold was probably very low, like much lower than it probably would have been normally. I had probably around 6 hours sleep within 3 days. I was 10 days overdue as well, I don't know if I've mentioned that. I went to the toilet again, close to the next 4-hour examination, as they said the toilet is the dilation station. If you sit on there, the pressure, it opens you up. So I went and sat on there for a little while, and while sitting on the toilet I started to get really cold and I started to shiver, and I was like uncontrollably shivering. So they were all a bit shocked because the room was quite warm. I asked them to make it warmer in there, and they examined me again to check my progress. When they examined me, they said, good news, I'd reached 6 to 7 centimetres in for another 4 hours. However, the midwife said it felt extremely hot up inside, which suggests that I have a suspected brewing infection, and that the baby's heart rate had been high for over an hour. And I knew something wasn't right because they kept getting I don't know who it was, but it was a male midwife that came in, and I could just tell with the way they were saying things, it wasn't looking great. So his heart rate had been high for over an hour, which indicated he was stressed, and he could also be getting the infection that I was getting. So I had bloods taken to check what the infection could be, and people were coming in the room to tell me that I was off for an emergency C-section. I had someone come in and explain all of the complications that could happen. The birth I'd visualised completely went out of the window, and I was so scared I couldn't stop crying. I was so worried about the baby, and when they come in and tell you all the complications, there's just a list of like 12 things that could go wrong, and it's like, we could accidentally like snip one of your organs, and if that happens, then you could have a blood transfusion, this could happen, can you sign the paperwork to say you're okay? And it was all in a massive rush because obviously it was an emergency, so I was like signing this document while sobbing, but I knew it was the best thing for both of us. So it's all a huge blur, but I remember getting taken down very quickly, and Tom going into the toilet to get changed into the scrubs, and also having to like compose himself for a few minutes to try and not cry, I think, because he was obviously very worried and very stressed as well. So that was that. I won't go into too much detail of the C-section, but I remember just crying all the time. And then they would strap my arms down, and I remember, because I was still contracting when I was on the table, which obviously if you go in for a planned C-section you don't have to go through any of the contraction pains, but I could feel the contractions still in my back and in my front whilst they were prepping me for the spinal block. And then once that spinal block went in, I was like a different person. I was laughing, I was making jokes, I was saying stuff to the surgeon. I was like, what's going on over there? Because you can't see, which is the worst thing ever. I like to be in control, I like to see what's going on. So I was like, what's going on over there? Have you started yet? And she was like, yeah. And then the guy that was doing my spinal block was absolutely brilliant. He was hilarious. I was like, why have you strapped my arms down like Jesus on the cross? You don't do this to other people, you're mugging me off. And they were all laughing. And the surgeon said to me when I saw her the day afterwards, she was like, you were heckling me whilst I was cutting you open. I was like, I wasn't, I was just asking her what was going on. She said to me, I need you to stop talking because I need to concentrate. So all I could hear her saying was, oh, I've made too much of a small incision here because the baby's massive and I'm struggling to get him out. So when she pulled him out, she said, wow, you have built a rugby player here, which is just what you want when you can't see what they look like. Then she said, he has loads of hair though, and he's got amazing long eyelashes. So at that point, I was like, I'll take it. If he's a massive baby, but he's got loads of hair, love it. So he cried straight away when they pulled him out, which made me feel better. And they lifted him over the curtain, and I just saw a huge, massive, great big head. So swollen. And at that point I thought, thank Jesus Lord he didn't come out the normal exit, because that would have absolutely wrecked me for life. Seriously, he was huge. I'll insert a picture. He was £9. He got taken for around 30 minutes and I could just hear him crying over there. They had to obviously check his observations because he had a suspected infection as well. They had to check him over to make sure he was okay before they could hand him over to us. I didn't get any skin to skin, which was really sad because that was all in my plan. Tom got to cut the cord and see him for a little while and hold him, and then they put him next to me on my face and I was crying. And then I think they laid him on me or something and I was like, take him off, I'm going to be sick. It was the worst because that wasn't, I thought what else could go wrong? And the anaesthetist said, I'm going to put some anti-sickness into your IV now because you can often feel really sick afterwards, right? So I was like, okay. And then that made me feel really sick for some reason. So I was feeling really sick. They put a sick bowl next to me. So I was like, ugh. And then I just got the epidural shakes because your arms are still strapped down. So I was like this, and Tom's like, is this normal? And they're like, yeah, it's really normal. So that happened for 10 minutes. I was exhausted just by the bloody epidural shakes. I know loads of people get that and they also get it after birth because it's like the adrenaline after a vaginal birth. You're absolutely freezing as well, which is so weird because I was hot the whole labour and I had a fan on me the whole time. Tom was holding one on me. I'll try and insert some pictures because we got pictures rather than videos for this. I was then told I had suspected sepsis and I had to stay in until my infection markers came down, and I had to have an IV antibiotic drip in all the time, so I literally had to roll around with a bloody mobile, fluids. And Luca also had to have cannulas in his hand and they had to do 3 or 4 whilst we were there and it was just awful. Oh. So they had to keep coming in every few hours or whatever to do his IV antibiotics. Bless his heart, he was so good, he's so hardcore. Honestly, they were like, he's just so chill, he never really cried. They took blood from his feet all the time. They were doing all of his checks all the time. He didn't fuss at all, he's so good. So I was in for a total of 8 days and Luca was in for 5 days after birth. And yeah, that's all I've written really. And it was super emotional because I never imagined that the first 5 days I would have to spend in hospital. And every day Tom could come in 8, I think it was 8:30 till 10. So he was there all day and I had a C-section. So they say don't do a lot. But then when you're in hospital on your own overnight, how can you not? You have to get up the day of, the night of, well not the night of because my legs were numb and I have a catheter. But the day after, when your legs come back, you have to be up and about, you have to be, you know, I can't not. So you just have to get on with it. So yeah, every night when Tom left at like 10 o'clock, I would just cry my eyes out. So I've got to do the whole night on my own again. And not only that, when you've got a cannula in, I had to obviously get up out of bed, you're sore in your stomach, you're just sore anyway, you're knackered from the trauma of the birth. And how long I hadn't slept for 3 days before I gave birth, and then I stayed in for another 5 days. And if anyone stays in hospital, you know you don't sleep very well, especially when you've got people coming in every 2 hours to do your observations, to give you blood thinning injections, to give you IV antibiotics, to change your drips over, to check the baby, and then you've got the alarms going off from other women, you've got people crying, you've got other babies crying. It's mental. So I had to get up out of bed, and then every time I'd get up to lift him out of the cot, my IV drip would move and then it would like cause an air bubble or whatever, and then the screen would come up going beep, 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 air bubble in tube or whatever it says. Please reset. So then I'd have to push my buzzer for the nurse to come and sort the drip out to reset the buttons. And you can imagine when he's getting up all the time and I have to keep lifting him up, putting him down, lifting him up, putting him down, getting nappies, get bottles. Every 5 minutes, it would be, not even that, every 2 minutes, it would go beep, push the button. It was overstimulating. I don't know how I did it. Well, I had mental breakdowns every night, that's how I did it. And I kept saying to them, I can't do this anymore. I cannot have this in my hand. I can't have it in my hand. I need something else. So I think earlier than they should have, they put me on oral antibiotics because it was driving me mad. In the end, I didn't even ring for the midwives, for the nurse. It's not a midwife, nurse. I was just resetting it myself on the buttons, but it was probably 2 minutes. So that was also very stressful. Luckily, he didn't have his attached up to him. They just did it with a syringe, whereas mine were hooked up. So yeah, I think they said to me as well sometimes, oh, you're going to go home in a couple of days. And then nobody worked over the weekend in the hospital to do his infection markers, so they couldn't check the bacteria on the blood sample to see if there was anything growing on it over the weekend because nobody works on the weekend in that department. So I had to stay in for like an extra 2 days because we didn't know the results of the blood. But I think they went down a little bit and then his shot back up, so we had to stay in for another couple of extra days. And actually, looking back on it, I don't mind the experience because, I mean, it was awful and I wouldn't do it again. But I loved the midwives. I loved the midwives. These people are heroes. The hours they work, they don't sit down. How do they keep going? Oh my God, they work so hard. They're angels. They'll come in the night, and every time a midwife came in, I think I was probably crying. And it would just be typical because I wouldn't have cried for a couple of, like, I don't know, 45 minutes. And then I would just get a massive emotional wave. And then they'd be like, hello, can we do this? And I'd just be like, and they'd be like, she's crying again. So every time they saw me, I was pretty much crying. And then one night, I had no sleep. I think I was probably on like day 6 of being in hospital with hardly any sleep. I was so done. And the midwives came in and said, let us just take him for a couple of hours so that you get 2 hours solid sleep. And I was like, I feel like a failure. And they were like, you're not a failure, like you need this. Every mum is feeling the same in here. So I was like, okay. They took him for 5 hours. 5. I didn't wake up once. I didn't wake up to check if he was there. I was exhausted. They brought him back after 5 hours, said he was good as gold. They changed him a couple of times. He slept. Oh, they were just amazing. Honestly, I can't speak highly enough of them. Absolutely phenomenal people. Love them, and I miss some of them already. I'm like, oh, if I never have a child again, I might not see them again. But that is not a reason to have another child, because I can't put myself through that again. Despite how amazing they are and how much I am in love with this boy, I think I'm one and done. We had family come and visit us at the hospital. That was lovely. But I did find after people came to visit, even for an hour and a half, I was exhausted. So the positives from that are, oh, another funny thing. So I think on the 7th night, they give you laxatives, right? Or stool softeners, because after a C-section or a birth, you get very constipated. So they gave me laxatives. So I had them for a few days and I stopped taking them. I went to the toilet 3 times in an hour on the 7th night, and it wasn't good. It wasn't good at all. And on the door it says, tell the midwives if your bowel movements change. So I was like, I'm going to tell them. So I said to one of my midwives, just let you know, my bowel movements have changed. So like I've gone 3 times in an hour, just let you know. Next thing I know, someone comes in and says, you're moving to a side room. So I was like, oh, that's good, because they've got private side rooms that you can pay for, just a tip as well, if you've had enough and you can afford it. I think it's like £150 a night for a side room. So you get your own, thought it'd weed on me then, but it's just really hot. You get your own little side room, quiet, peace and quiet. Oh, it's just the best thing in the world. I didn't realise how good it is. And when my sister came to visit a couple of nights before, she texted me saying, please let me know if you're happy for me to pay to put you in a side room, because I just want you to not be exhausted. So I was like, oh no, don't be stupid, I might be going home tomorrow. That's so lovely of you. You do not have to pay for it. I can pay for it myself. It was only me and another lady on the ward anyway, and her baby was in the NICU. So it was a very quiet ward. I was very lucky. So I was like, no, might be going home, not going to pay for one. Other people probably need them as well, more than me. It's fine. So then when they came in and said, we're putting you in a side room, I was like, I reckon my sister sorted me out here with a side room. Sneaky. So we went in the side room, moved all the stuff. I was like, this is amazing. You've got your own little bathroom kind of thing outside. There's a mirror in there, there's a sink in there, there's tables in there, a lot more room. It was just brilliant. And then people started coming in with masks, aprons, and Tom said, oh, something happened, is someone ill? And they were like, yeah, you're isolated. I was like, sorry? There was signs all over the door saying in isolation, potential, I don't even know what it was. They thought I had C. diff, I think. But I had basically had a really bad reaction to the oral antibiotics I was on. It just completely messed up my gut lining because they moved me from the IV drip to oral antibiotics. And even when I went home for like the next 5-6 days, it was terrible. What baby poo looks like when it first comes out was me. It was so bad. But yeah, that improved when I stopped taking my antibiotics, so that's all it was. But it was hilarious. I got my own side room and I didn't realise I was in isolation. So I didn't really get disturbed all night. No midwives would just come in and have a chat with me, which they would before, because I got on really, really well with this young one in there. So nobody chatted to me, and for the first time I think I had a really good sleep, and he slept really well because there was less noise, less alarms. I wasn't on the IV drip anymore. Amazing, but quite funny to look back on. But yeah, I learned so much in there. I asked the midwives so many questions. I took full advantage of being in there. They were very, very on it with breastfeeding, I will say, which was very intense, but it did teach me a lot of things. And now we're home. I think because I had no sleep pretty much in the hospital, and when you do get sleep, it's light sleep and it's disturbed sleep. Very, very, very broken. Now we've been home for a couple of weeks, and even though he's waking up every 2 to 3 hours, nothing compares to the hospital sleep deprivation. I feel so human with a newborn because of my bad experience in hospital, and any sleep I do get is amazing. I was hallucinating in hospital. I was looking at the windows, and like there's like a knob that you can pull to open and close the windows. They were really high and it was moving around, and I was like, whoa. I would like go on my phone in the evening to text people back that had said congratulations, and I would just fall asleep in the hospital bed with my finger pressed down on my phone, and I would wake up 5 minutes later and there would be like 100 XZYs all over the text. I was so tired. And now I feel amazing. So yeah, it's good. He's the cutest thing in the world. He's got loads of hair. He's good as gold. He's so chill. Touch wood. And I see why people have loads of children, minus the birth experience, the bit afterwards. You can't even explain it. I never understood it, and now I've done it, I get it. The feeling you get, oh my God, when they bring them to you for the first time. Yeah. My friends always said to me, you are not going to be able to cope with the sleepless nights, with the broken sleep, because I am the biggest sleeper. I love my sleep. I can sleep anywhere, anytime, any place, which is a really good thing for when he drops and goes back to sleep in the night. As soon as I've fed him, put him back down and he's next to me, snooze pod, I can put my head on that pillow and I'm out like a light. It doesn't take me long to fall back to sleep. So that is a really good trait. But yeah, that is the birth story. This has probably gone on for far too long. I have rambled. I've probably forgotten a few bits and bobs. But yeah, the feeling of going outside after also giving birth and being in hospital for 8 days. I didn't get fresh air for 6 days. So when I stepped out with him in the car seat for the first time and breathed in that fresh air, heaven. Overwhelming actually. And just to be in a car and like drive through the village, I felt like I'd been in prison for a little while. Not that it was that bad because the staff are amazing, but you know when you just feel like you're in this cubicle, you can't go outside that cubicle because you've now got a human to look after. It's not like you can just go for a walk because you can't take them outside of the ward. yeah, that's something I don't think I'll ever forget. Wild, but worth it. Welcome to the world, Luca.